Welcome to Season 5 of John McGivern's Main Streets. This is the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of your favorite TV show. Now it's time to get the inside scoop of this week's episode with your hosts, John and Emmy, Main Street's producer and director Lois Maurer, and this week's content producer.
It's the John McGivern Main Streets podcast. I'm John McGivern. I'm here with Lois, our producer, and Emmy, my co-host, and Evan, who is the producer of this episode. We're talking about Greendale, Wisconsin. Hey, guys.
Hey. Good morning.
How's it going?
Same as always, John. Good.
Good. Let's talk about Greendale. Evan.
Yeah.
You're up.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I'm a big fan.
We hear you have a little inside track on Greendale, Evan.
Yes.
Let's tell the truth here, Evan. How do you know Greendale?
I have lived in Greendale for 5 years now.
Nice.
My mom grew up in Greendale.
Nice.
In the 50s, 60s, 70s, so I'm quite familiar.
Good.
Yeah,
and you're not just familiar, you are in love with Greendale.
Yes, yeah. We're never moving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even
You're
though
a
you-
young man. That is
Yeah.
so wild that he said that.
But you live in an original, so you never want a basement? You never want a...
No, the plan is to come across some sort of windfall of cash, like $200,000-$300,000, and then we do the thing where you lift our house up, dig the basement out underneath, and then put the house back down.
Is the original area where we shot The Open with all those cute homes,
Yes.
right? That's
yes.
where, okay.
The ones that are lettered A, B, C, D, those different sections, and all
Right.
the street names go along with the letter.
Yes.
Which, when you think about it, is really kind of a GPS dream. Because you can put it in your head and realize, well, at least I know the A section's over there.
Right.
You know, and the other one's over here, so.
Does everyone have as much pride in Greendale, say your neighbors, as you do?
Most do, yeah. It's like everybody shows up for the parade. Everybody, I mean, there's a festival every weekend, and it's always like wall-to-wall people. And like, it was built to be self-sustaining. So like, there's a central village, and like, there's stuff where like the sidewalks were intentionally built extra narrow so that you'd have to like talk to people as you walk past them.
So I can't take my double stroller and my dogs all for a walk down the sidewalk?
You'd have to take one of the many bike paths.
As the content producer on this episode, you're the one who has to say, hey, I think this would make a great segment. You know too much. Does that make it hard?
Yeah, we've given a lot of attention in our You Gotta See Greendale spots throughout the seasons to kind of that main strip. And we've done a lot of the businesses there. Like, obviously Ricardo's Pizza is a place we totally would do on our show, but we've seen it a lot, and everybody knows Ricardo's. So we're like, what could we do that isn't quite, is either newer or isn't necessarily the very first thing somebody thinks of when they think of Greendale?
I think that's part of what we need to do with the show as well. I think that's
Right.
you know, when we have that kind of ultimate goal that we show up in a community and we do our stuff, and then it airs a half a year later and people say, I'm from that town, I never knew that. And that's kind of the point. So the fact that we did that, I think is really important.
That is why we did the Kinetic Company. It's because I grew up in Franklin, the next town over, and driving past Greendale, the first thing you see when you get into Greendale, if you're on Loomis Road, is this big white building with a green top that says Kinetic on it. And so for 30 years, I was like, what is that place? They make industrial sharpening equipment, right? Or like knives and blades and stuff.
Yeah, it was like, and not like a knife when you think about it in your brain.
No.
It's like round, just very specialty stuff for other manufacturers and for other industry.
And unlike, so they shouldn't call themselves a place that makes knives. They make equipment that cuts, and it cuts anything. So it's like, but they do call themselves a knife company. But it's you got to wrap your mind around how things cut, and it's not always knives, is kind of how I had to deal with it. And it's so funny because we get into these places, and when you get into a manufacturing place, it's always like, well, I hope we get somebody who can really make it a layman sort of language. And I got in there and I thought, oh, this guy's not going to be good at this. In fact, he was great. So when we sat in his incredible lobby. First of all, if you get a chance to go into the lobby of this place, it is a place that has a moment in time that you need to
Absolutely.
appreciate, which is 1967. It's like it's
You
everything.
guys are young. Did you ever watch Mad Men? Think
Yeah.
Mad Men?
Oh
And
my
that's the
Lord, it
lobby.
was so cool. It was so cool. So we stood in the lobby and did the interview, and then he handed me over to somebody who is in charge of the actual equipment that they build to and then go and put in other companies. And he was the best. An engineer who knew how to speak simply. And it was a great place. I thought it was one of the best sort of manufacturing places we did this season.
Well, I think what is interesting is you have a preconceived kind of notion in your head when you hear knife company.
Yeah.
And we walked into the lobby and you were like, okay, I don't see anything on the wall. I don't see knives. I don't see any, like usually there's like a table with their stuff on it.
Nothing.
But they saved that for when we got into the plant.
Yeah.
So we got into the plant, we started to walk around, and then he has this table with this, I'm just going to call it stuff because not one thing looks like a knife.
Right.
We were like, are we in the right place? And he explained it really well, and it was super interesting. And in a place like Greendale, you never think manufacturing. I never do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think residential, and I think little village,
Restaurants.
and I think cute shops and restaurants.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think of manufacturing, which is why it was so great that you found that, Evan.
And a really interesting thing I had never thought about before, and this wasn't in the episode, but it's an interesting thing about Greendale. There's like several Greendale Facebook community pages, right? And somebody put up, there was a house for sale. It was like a little ranch. It wasn't one of the originals, but it was a ranch in the B section. And it was real expensive. It was like way more than most houses of that size, even in Greendale. And people were arguing in the comments of, oh, that's way too expensive. What are we doing? You know. And then some people were like, well, it's, you know, some people want to live here. But somebody made a really interesting point that she was like, if you look at the inside, it's been totally flipped and renovated and turned into something really beautiful. And so many people want to live in Greendale, but there's no space left anywhere to build a new house or develop. So all you can do is take the existing houses and make them really nice. And that's why this house is so expensive, is because, you know, it's like, it's the best you can do is just take an existing house and renovate it, or, you know, update it or whatever it needs for
And
I think-
whoever bought it is thinking, I don't have to do a
Yeah.
thing to this place. Right? The best feeling.
Yeah. But there is not a square foot of space that isn't spoken for.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because
yeah.
it doesn't look very congested. Like there's a lot of open space in Greendale.
Yeah, well, it's all protected because it's a natural or national.
Because of the
historic-
Greenbelt.
Yeah.
Now this history is coming back to
Yeah.
me about how they built it to have so much of the parks and the trails and like you said, so it could be self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Did you know Greendale, Emmy, before we went?
Only for Cop's Custard, which I don't even think, that's really actually Greenfield.
Right.
But that's
Well, you got close. You just needed to keep going a little
That's
bit.
what I knew for. Actually, Greendale had a negative connotation in my brain because when I was playing softball for Union Grove, let's see, my senior year, which was 2001, Greendale beat us to go to state.
Oh.
So Greendale was always like, I don't really know where this city is, but I don't like them girls.
Which is funny because we had an intern with us, Lexi, and Lexi is a big Oak Creek girl, and we went, another segment that we did was to talk about like the music programs at the high school, because Greendale High School's marching band is famous. They're going to the Macy Day parades, they go to the Rose Bowl, they've been to a lot of things. And so our intern had that same vibe, where she was just like, oh, Greendale wins everything.
They're so good.
Yeah. Yeah, Greendale's got a great community theater. I mean, for a town with 15,000 people, I think they're swinging above their weight. And a lot of the people in the music programs are involved with community theater. And then the orchestra, a good friend of mine, Brittany, is the orchestra director. They do all sorts of traveling too. Like they just went to Ireland, and she's very involved. And
And would have killed you if you didn't do that story.
yeah, so I was like, I got to give them some love too, because you know, they're very cool, but they don't get as much press as the marching band. So it's like let's give them some love
But
too.
obviously supported. The
Yeah.
community supports it
Yeah,
so well.
it's nice to be somewhere where people really care about the arts.
We had, Emmy and I had an experience that people may be able, or may even say that it was art-like. Oh, my Lord. Do you want to talk? So there are very few things that I look back on and say, I don't get it. I do not get it. Let's talk about our shared experience. So we always do a segment together. And when I read about this one, I was like, what?
Messy.
You liked it.
I did like it.
Yeah.
Because it was very freeing for me. Let's just talk about mess for a second. You don't like mess.
No, I don't.
And
So
I don't like
we,
mess either.
We went to a splatter room. Let's describe
Right.
what we did.
Yes.
We went to a splatter room that the object was to make a mess.
Right, to creatively express our artistic inner self on a canvas.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yes.
I saw you guys throwing paint with paintbrushes just willy-nilly all over the place.
Yes, that's the inner self, just letting go,
Oh,
right?
okay, well.
It was at a place called the Field Workshop. And
Field
when we
Workshop.
walked in there, I mean, I'm thinking like, this is like, there's like a kids camp going on. In fact, I called Seth right away, my husband,
kids came
and
by.
I said, bring our kids because I know you're almost dying at home right now with trying to figure out what to do. Come let them play here. They had a great time. But yes, they took us in the back room. They didn't you kind of feel like we were going into the operating room?
They suited us up, is
Right.
what they did.
Right.
Yeah.
And sent us back in with brushes, but all these different colors, like bright highlighter colors, and just said, have
Because it was
fun.
black lit in there, if you remember.
Yes, that's right. Because didn't you kind of feel like you were back in college? I did. Yes.
You went to a different college than
Right.
us, apparently.
Yes, the beer drinking black lit fraternity party is where I went.
Were there a lot of those?
Wasn't seminary. It wasn't like that.
You struggled to make a mess.
And can I apologize here publicly to you? Because when we do our segments together, and you know, it's like I'm old, a little crabby, kind of set in my ways, and it's like, oh my Lord, I would no sooner ever do this than I would, like, I just would never ever do this. And you have such a spirit that is kind and kind of like, let's do it, John. And I'm like, shut up, Emmy. It is like, let's make a mess. All I wanted to do, and I've said this before, all I really wanted to do was clean up. Like
I know.
I just wanted to. It would have made me happy to clean the place up.
Okay, well, I accept your apology. Can I now publicly apologize to you because I could tell you were so struggling, and all I wanted to do was just get one little teensy splatter of paint on you, and then I did that, and I was like, oh, yep. I've gone too far. I have gone too far with this man who I love. So I am sorry
Well, I say,
for doing that.
I don't even recall, even though my clothes still have some of that paint on you.
The canvas is hanging like next to all of your Emmys, correct?
Yeah, oh,
Right.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so funny because I didn't really get much paint on there. So in the
You were
black
too
light,
uncomfortable. He was like one little dip, and we're like, no, jeez.
it was
couldn't
like,
even get enough paint to
you
make-
had to whip it. It's like, can't I just go paint it?
Whip it real good. Dun, 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 dun.
So in the black light, you could see that there was paint on there. In the real light, it's like, oh, there's hardly, oh.
A lot of white
It
space.
didn't look like I really even played well in
Right.
this, and I didn't.
You don't play well with others? Is that what you're saying?
with messy paint. No.
Not with messy paint.
I don't-
It's just interesting. I mean, kids can go do it. It's kind of like a girls' night out, a date night thing. It's interesting how some people want to go and spend time together, right? It just
And that workshop, you have to remember, has all kinds of art. We did the splatter room, but they do tons of
Everything.
And kids
different
don't
workshops.
usually do the splatter room, right? That's really an adult sort of activity.
I don't
That's
know.
what
Did
they
you
told
see
us.
them
Yeah.
like peek? They like wanted in there badly. I just figured they were like next up or something, but maybe not. What else did you go and do that you loved in Greendale? Because you know Greendale well. Roy Ryman, the late wonderful Roy Ryman, was a great friend of yours and Lois's.
Yeah.
So this place was special to you guys,
Yeah.
to all three of you.
it was great to get back in the village. And, you know, we owe so much to Greendale and really to the Ryman Foundation for really supporting our show for as many years as they have, right from the beginning, with the other show as well, Around the Corner. They've been, you know, he was an incredible ally to us, and so it was great to get back there. And it's one of the few episodes that we did again. So we did Greendale for Around the Corner, and we did Greendale for Main Streets. And, you know, anything we can do to honor his memory and to honor what help he's given us is really... So it was great to get back in the village. And it's great to see how different it is from, but how the feeling is the same from when we did it last time.
It's so Hallmark movie-esque.
Oh, my Lord.
I mean, like, just truly, you're like, really?
All
How
those
can it be
flowers
this
along the
beautiful?
street are incredible, and they
Yeah.
have, you know, their flags that fly, and that also is, you know, thanks to Roy. Roy Ryman was the one who supports downtown Greendale and all the flowers, all of the beauty there. You know, I love the little Norman Rockwell statue that wears different hats.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Yep, a great selfie spot. Thank you for sending me to Ray and Dot's Tap.
Oh, yeah.
Which Ev and I had never heard of it, but locals apparently, it's the locals thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
That is
it's
the
like-
local place.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it's very different than the vibe you're going to get if you walk into Joey Gerard's and you sit at the bar and you have a glass of wine. Okay, this place is so local.
Yeah.
It's VFW, right? Isn't
It's
it
a
a
VFW
VFW?
post/bar/event space.
Yes, yes.
It was perfect. It was our last stop on my day of filming. And there was one tank top hanging on the wall in like a PBR red and white and blue like color scheme. And I was like, I have to have that. I have to wear this for this segment. And the bartender was awesome. I went and just took it right off the wall.
Yeah.
I think I asked her.
But what was really fun is we went in there and they all knew the show too. The people that were just sitting, because you know this was probably 3:30 and the bar had people all sitting around it.
Totally.
The bartender knew the show and all the people sitting there knew the show. One more time where they were like, oh, is John McGivern coming?
Oh yeah, always. I always say, oh, he's in the car. He'll be right in. Because then you don't make him mad. You give him hope that you're going to come in. That place was great.
Yeah.
I wear the tank top to stand volleyball, and
Oh,
every
really?
time they're like, Ray and Dots, I love that place.
It's got really that small town bar feeling that, like, Greendale is a small town, but sometimes it feels bigger because so many people come to visit. But Ray and Dots really feels like, yeah, this is a bar in a town of 15,000 people.
Yeah.
Truly.
Unlike the Eleanor Room, which is also a wonderful, wonderful vibe. Very different, right? It's kind of got that same sort of, you know, we talked about that Mad Men lobby. It's kind of got that throwback
feel.
cocktail hour kind of feeling to it.
Really much more, a little earlier than that, like the 30s and 40s and Frank Sinatra and sort of
Yeah,
Rat
Rat
Pack-y, early 1950s sort of, really cool.
Yeah.
And the guy, Jason, is that Jason who, it's funny because Jason knows my brother because my brother does a radio show about home improvement and my brother doesn't know, he knows nothing about home improvement. But Jason's on his show because that's his real business. But he had a dream to open a restaurant. And
Isn't he also like the city administrator? or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, he's on the city council. I think he's
Yeah.
the president of the village board, or at least was at some point. Yeah, he owns J&J Contracting, which sponsors everything. Now he opened a restaurant, so yeah, he's quite connected to Greendale.
Beautiful room.
And really smart. The Eleanor Room with the whole history of Eleanor Roosevelt coming to town and, you know, looking over all the originals and telling those men they kind of did it wrong.
Yeah.
And
Right, with the laundry rooms and the coal.
yeah, that was fun.
That's right.
Did you see me in the police squad car?
Yeah, I was. I wanted to make sure I told everybody, no, nothing went wrong. He's okay in there. He's invited. He's not arrested.
Yeah, Marcus,
Yeah.
who is a police officer in Greendale, took us around and
Yeah.
showed us the police station, showed us the jail, introduced us to the other officers, and then put me in the squad car and we drove around. It was really cool.
And you met the dog.
Not
the
really
canine.
comfortable.
Did you sit in the front or the back?
No, sat in the front, which wasn't comfortable. It was all kind
Imagine
of,
the back.
I
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Wow. But we met the canine too, remember? I don't remember his name, but they were like, here, do you want to put this thing on your arm and have him jump? And you're like, no.
No, don't really want to do that either.
Take me back to the splatter room, please.
There-
You know, we spent so much time traveling that it was really fun to be home and to be able to go home in
And
the evening.
this was different too, because this episode, because it was close, was broken into 2 days of shooting. Then we had like 3 weeks we did other stuff, and then another 2 days, remember?
Oh, right,
So
right, it was busted
that kind
up.
of, yeah, from a production standpoint, you know, that is not my favorite way to work. I would rather get there and get it done. But because of the way our schedule worked, and because we had the opportunity since it was right there, we split it into 2, which I will tell you it just made my world a little more
I was like,
challenging.
what shirt did I wear?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
John
you're going
calling
back.
me going, wait, send me a picture of my shoes.
We have a shout out
We
every one of these
do.
podcasts.
We would like to say thank you to Barbara Shruby, and she's from Greendale. I think she lives in the A section. She's probably Evan's neighbor, don't you think?
Oh, Evan.
We're just joking.
Did you tell
Barb
her
and I
to
go
write
way
in?
back.
Barb and I go way back.
So Barbara,
good.
thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the show. You are our fan shout out winner for today.
Thanks, you guys. That was Greendale.
Thanks.
No
Bye.
problem.
Talk to you real soon.
Want to wear something that's going to support your favorite show? Shop at Main Street Store. Proceeds go to help us get next season into production, so come on, go shopping at mainstreets.tv.